Special thanks to all our patrons who support the show every single week. Patrons, you keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we're so grateful for all the support you give and the community that you've helped us to build. Not a patron yet? Join us today. Head over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast or buymeacoffee.com/runeatdrinkpod and subscribe for bonus content, social media shoutouts, and much more. Help support our show by using our Amazon affiliate link anytime you shop on Amazon for running gear, food, beverages, or anything else the little gray trucks might bring your way. Just use runeatdrink.net/Amazon anytime you shop. There's no additional cost. It's just one bonus click to help us keep the lights on and the bandwidth flowing. Go to runeatdrink.net/Amazon. And we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Chris Twiggs, Chief Training Officer for Galloway Training, and you're listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 298 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana. I can't believe it's only 298. I feel like we should be over 300.
Okay.
And I'm blaming the hurricanes.
Yes.
Literally 2 in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
And then a threat of one coming later next week, maybe, kind of.
Yes.
I think the Yucatan Peninsula might be the MVP next week. And,
no.
break it up so that we don't have to deal with a name storm. But
well,
it's been a rough hurricane season for us, and I think it's put us behind.
Indeed it has, and we're just happy we're still doing it.
Indeed.
We
So
are.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us on episode 298
So close.
of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
So close. This is a very special episode.
Oh, I feel like we should have a Hallmark movie intro, like on a very special episode of
Wow.
the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
It's November. It's one of my favorite months of the year. I've made no secret about this on any coffee chat, on any episode, on any live that we do. November and Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite times of year. And I feel a focus on gratitude and giving back.
Sure.
So what better way than to give back to a cause that we're passionate about? The DONNA Foundation.
Exactly. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That is traditionally when you see all the pink ribbons coming out and all that
Sure.
stuff. But November is Thanksgiving, and that is where you give thanks. And we are so grateful for the DONNA and the race and what it does to support the DONNA Foundation, what the foundation does for people who are battling breast cancer, the families who are supporting their family members and loved ones who are going through that battle. And it's just an amazing organization. We've talked about them year after year. We'll continue to do so for as long as we're podcasting. We are going to be talking a lot today about why we run for the DONNA and why we support them and what we're doing to support them as we head into the giving season.
Yes, indeed. So let's start with some shout outs for our fellow podcasting friends. First up, of course, we had Stephanie, who walked all 3 events, the Wine and Dine weekend events from the Pace Yourself, It's Just Cancer podcast. And then the same exact weekend, Erin from the same podcast and the Will Run For podcast.
Of Will Run For podcast fame.
Yes. Completed the New York City Marathon for Fred's team, and they raise funds for Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I saw some pretty awesome posts, some overwhelmingly emotional posts.
Yeah, really powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm. And so congratulations to those two fellow podcasters.
Yeah, great job, ladies. That's amazing work. We also want to shout out to a friend of the show, Michael Leslie.
Fantastic runcation recap he gave us from London.
He did. And he now has Chicago Marathon under his belt. And not just Chicago, but also the New York City Marathon.
In the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Hello. How many World Marathon Major stars is it now? Applause.
Yes.
Applause.
Okay, let me see if I can find the applause button. Can I find the applause button? Do I have it? I do. Nicely done.
Just knocking them out. I think that would leave Berlin and Tokyo.
I think so. Yeah.
And then he'll have them like Andy Sharp.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So congratulations to all of you.
And Mike Leslie, by the way, he is at Run Disnerd on social media. So check him out.
Mm-hmm. And last week, actually the last 2 episodes, we have been shouting out Greg and Jovanna, the owners of Nice Guys Pizza, because they did an amazing thing this year. All through their fall cocktail menu, they have featured the I Dream of Autumn Barbie.
Yes. I mean, they are friends of the show. They are patrons of the show, and they are just friends of ours personally. So we have been so fortunate and so blessed to know them for over a decade now. And they heard and they listened to the show. They know what we do. And this is a drink that was inspired by you talking with one of their former bartenders who's still a active mixologist here in Southwest Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And talking about what a flavor profile you're wanting to do. And Brittany, who is the genius behind the drink, she jotted notes down while you guys were talking. And then this became a staple on the seasonal menu. And it's called I Dream of Autumn Barbie because when we were first going to Nice Guys years and years ago, they didn't know our names and they started calling us Barbie and Ken. Because we would show up, I think, every Friday. Friday was our go-to day, and we were there every Friday evening for a long time.
One weekend night, pretty much every weekend.
Every week, yeah. This drink that Brittany came up with was a riff on a old-fashioned.
Bourbon, spiced pear, maple, orange, and black walnut bitters.
And it is absolutely fantastic. This drink is so good.
I'm drinking it right now because they have what's called little helpers.
Yeah, they during the pandemic, they came up with this great idea because in the state of Florida, they really relaxed the laws regarding sale of alcoholic beverages.
Trying to help the business owners.
Essentially, yeah. They let everybody tap into their recreational alcoholism to keep businesses afloat here.
Goodness.
And I mean that in the healthiest way possible.
Sure.
So, but it's true.
Yes.
In Florida, you couldn't do to-go spirits like this.
No.
Prior to COVID.
Right.
So they ended up coming up with, they have a small canning machine and they have these tiny cans. They look like,
they have the tiny soda cans now, like the really mini ones.
That's what they look like. They're not the skinny soda cans, but they're half height. They're so cool. And they do several of their cocktails as canned cocktails. And if it's a smoked cocktail, they give you the canned cocktail and they do a smoked jar. What do you call it? A mason jar.
Little mini.
Yeah. They smoke the mason jar and then cap it off and they trap the smoke in there. And then they send you home with this kit to assemble these drinks. It's fantastic. It's so smart.
We sent.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack that.
No.
I just wanted to brag on them a little bit.
Of course. 'Tis the season for gratitude of some amazing and creative things they've done. And we sent this information to Amanda Napolitano, who is the executive director of the DONNA Foundation. And she was out on her run and she was listening to the show where we shout out Greg and Jovanna. And she was just so touched about what they've done and so fascinated by the description of the drink that she sent a shout out back.
Oh, fantastic.
And we have that now.
An audio file? Let's play it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg and Jovanna, for Autumn Barbie. And $2 to the DONNA Foundation for every drink. Makes me want to come visit you guys and enjoy that together. Maybe I will. Love y'all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amanda's so sweet. And
she is. I didn't expect her to. She didn't do that.
And
she just texted me a video all of a sudden after I sent her a link to the show.
And I was going to say, if she can't make it down during autumn, the autumn season,
we might be able to.
Since the drink is canned,
right?
It could be transported to her.
Just saying.
We could make that happen. Mm-hmm. Thank you to Amanda, friend of the show. And thank you all so much. If you want a shout out for you or someone else that you love on the show, send us an email to info@runeatdrink.net. That's info@runeatdrink.net. Or
you can give us a call and leave us a message that we can play on the show just like we did.
Like you just heard.
Does at 941-677-2733. That's 941-677-2733.
Let's talk running.
Let's talk running.
So
for a cause.
Yeah. And again, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's fine. We've mentioned the DONNA, of course, during October. How can you not? But we're going to mention it again, number one, because we're ambassadors for the DONNA Foundation, the DONNA race itself, and we're believers in the cause.
Yes, because I think they've done some amazing work, not only to support the families and those who are fighting the disease and treatment, but also in partnership with the Mayo Clinic.
Exactly.
To finish breast cancer. And it is just near and dear to our hearts. I think it hits close to home in every circle that I have ever been a part of in terms of friendships or colleagues, work environments. There's not a life that hasn't been touched by this.
No, our friend Andy Sharp, who we talk about on the show pretty frequently, she has the group, the Bouncy Hunters, that she's put together, which is a group of medical professionals that work either at or adjacent or in the area around the Mayo Clinic up in Jacksonville. And their tagline is for those who can't. And it's CA8NT.
Yeah, the A is an 8 because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah. So this is a prolific and insidious disease that is going to impact so many people, has impacted so many people, and we're not immune. I lost my mom in 2016 to stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. Her situation was that she did not want to get treatment. She didn't want to get to do the preventative work. She didn't like the idea of a mammogram. She didn't, and was very resistant to it. Even when she was told by her doctor that she loved and trusted, who was a wonderful woman who was my mom's primary care physician for years. My mom just was absolutely resistant to the idea. And she was told and I was in the room during the diagnosis that not only this is breast cancer, but I want my intern to come and see this because a situation like yours is not something we normally see in the United States.
It's preventable.
100% preventable. And if this is a situation where early detection could have meant the difference between my mom's life and death, or certainly quality of life in the last year that she was alive. So the impetus for me is do everything we can to support people who need to get help in getting treatment and to destigmatize and make sure that people understand that it's so important to get those annual treatments. And I've also got friends who've had male members of the family get diagnosed with breast cancer too. It's not just a female only disease.
Right.
Men can get it as well. That's not typically what you hear about, and certainly not in November. They always talk about testicular cancer.
Sure.
But regardless, this is something that's not a female-only disease. However, it is predominantly, I think, for something that impacts women. Right. And having lost somebody as special to me as my mother to it, I want to do everything I can to encourage women to get checked, stay up and stay current. And for those that need treatment, to have a resource, to be able to go and get treatment, to not have to choose between the Rich from the DONNA Foundation talks about not having to choose between paying a bill and getting treatment. And that's what the DONNA does.
Exactly.
These grants for people to not have to choose between life-saving treatment and paying a bill is so incredible.
Yeah.
That's a cause I can get behind for the rest of my life. And we're very grateful for them.
So Fitz talks about it too. Don't dismiss regular yearly exams. And she is the race announcer for the DONNA Marathon weekend.
I'm so glad,
February.
by the way. They've had great announcers in the past. We got to meet Fitz, and then the partnership that happened with Fitz and the DONNA is such a hand in glove fit.
Yeah.
Because Fitz is such an amazing person. Her own story about her battle with cancer. Her book, if you see any of our live streams, is featured prominently right in the middle. In My Noisy Cancer Comeback.
Yeah.
And she is just a great friend of the show.
Yes.
And just a wonderful woman.
We have many friends of the show that have donated to our online auction,
which we've done for the last couple of years. And we're doing again this year, by the way.
We are doing it again this year. We have typically had a photo album over on Facebook. And in that photo album, we have photos with comments or with a description detailing the auction item. And then participants can go and view and bid in the comments. So
it's like a silent auction.
Yeah.
But online.
Yes. And the comment, that's the space for you to bid and outbid each other. And then
we highly encourage bidding wars.
Yes, we do. And there are some amazing donations that people have made.
Yeah, we've gotten donations from, like you said, friends of the show. We've gotten donations from former guests on the show who become friends of the show. We are humbled by the outpouring of support for our tiny little endeavor here and the support for this cause. And I think that if you go over and check out this online auction, you're going to be very impressed with the quantity and quality of items to bid on this year.
So we have a link in the show notes to the auction items, and we're going to take bids up through 7 p.m. on Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Which is December 2nd, if memory serves. And at that time, we'll notify the winner in the comments, and we'll provide a link to our DONNA Foundation fundraising site where you can donate to our fundraiser, and then we will ship you your item.
So the deal is you make your bid, you get the high bid on the comment section. At 7 p.m., we cut it off.
Yep.
And then once we have the
Eastern time.
But once we have the confirmation that you have done your donation, then we ship your item.
We ship your item, or we email you the code to redeem it, or the information about
because some of the items are digital.
Yes. We have lots and lots of auction items just to provide an overview.
Yeah, a highlight reel, if you will.
Highlight reel
of what you can expect if you go and check this out.
Of course, we donate podcast swag in partnership with Pure Creative Apparel.
Yes, our friends Pam and Ariel, who make the amazing swag that we have.
And so many of you sport.
All of the swag that we have is guaranteed to make you 17 to 22% faster in your runs. We don't know how it works. It's just science. It happens.
Just the researchers from the Run, Eat, Drink podcast towers.
Here at the towers, we have a team of crack scientists who have determined that this is the case.
Yeah.
You would be crazy not to bid on that.
Of course.
Also have an entry.
This is huge. I love this.
I am very excited about this one. This is a brand new one for us. We have an entry to the Big Beach Marathon weekend, January 25th and 26th of 2025. And you can choose from 7K,
a 7K,
a half marathon, a marathon, or challenge events.
And we had Nikki Popovich from the Big Beach Marathon on to talk about that weekend, and it's amazing. It's a Runcation meetup. It's a Runcation Nation meetup, and people are getting excited about it. I can't wait. So, wow.
Yeah, that's going to be
going
to be our first time going back to Alabama and doing an organized race event. You did some podcast content, or we did some podcast content from Rocket City in Huntsville.
And I did training runs while you attended your day job conference.
I had a conference to go to. She's out running around and she's jogging and finding breweries during the day. And then I got to experience them after the fact, but she got to pre-sample them.
It was fantastic. I think that area is going to be, it's a different area this time, but it's going to be fantastic.
It's more of a beach town. We mentioned Fitz just a second ago.
Yeah.
And she not only is an award, like I'm going to say award-winning author. She's a fantastic author. She is one of our favorite race announcers, but she is also a bit of a coach and as well as a fellow podcaster. And she has a course that we've talked about on the show, and it's called Fixing Your Life with Fitness. And she is donating that course.
Yes.
And we've gone through it. It's phenomenal. You're going to love it.
It's lots of real, honest information about fixing your life, not only in the area of fitness, but just having a well-rounded life supported by good nutrition, good exercise, and sound research. And she just does no frills. Tell it like it is.
I was going to say, she drops the truth bombs.
Yeah.
And this course is not for the faint of heart, but it is absolutely phenomenal. And we can't recommend it enough. So you got to get over there and bid on that.
The amazing Catherine Switzer. First,
now, who is that? Tell us who that is. I'm sorry. She's a big deal.
She's a big deal. We've had her on the show. We traveled through time to have her on the show. And she was the first official female participant in the Boston Marathon. And she wrote a book, which is incredibly funny, poignant, inspiring. It is motivating. She has donated the Marathon Woman, and that is her book. And Roger Robinson, her husband, has donated Spirit of the Marathon. So we have a bundle.
We have two.
We have a bundle of Marathon Woman and Spirit of the Marathon. And then we have an extra copy of Spirit of the Marathon. So if you're looking for getting your holiday gifts in order, stocking stuffers, things like that.
For the runner in your life.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, that one you're going to have to bid against me for, because I think Spirit of the Marathon might, if y'all don't outbid me, it's going to become a set piece.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Because we could put that right by Fitz's book. We can put it right next to Beb Keflesky's book.
Or near Bart Yasso.
Yeah. So we've got a few books on the set.
Yeah. We could do near Amby Burfoot. Yeah. But we also have some set pieces, and we were lucky enough to have Dave McGilvery.
And who is that? For those who might be new to running or new to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
So wonderful. He's an amazing human being and race director of the Boston Marathon.
Yeah, he's the race director for the Boston Marathon. He has been on the show a couple of times. He is the best interview.
He is the original charity runner for the Jimmy Fund. And he ran across country and then ended in a baseball stadium there. And it's just he's just full of stories that inspire you, that make you think about earning your goal with everything in your mind, in your heart, and what you do physically to prepare for it.
So you think about a guy like Dave McGilvery and you go, well, what's he donating? He has written several books.
Yes. And they are, and they're autographed. So Running Across America, Dream Big and Finish Strong. These are illustrated books. And I think they're great for the preteen or teen in your life that's just getting into running, or if you want to inspire them with what is possible in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What a great
Through
positive
fitness
message.
and giving back.
We also have a donation from another, again, friend of the show.
Oh, yes.
A brewery that we have reviewed more than once, and we've actually featured their beer on live streams in the past.
Oh, we love it.
It's a local brewery here in Southwest Florida called Coastal Days Brewery, and they have been so kind to donate glassware and a sticker set and a gift card.
Yes.
So if you needed an excuse to come to Southwest Florida, I mean, if you needed more of an excuse, you could come visit your favorite running podcasters.
Of course. And then we could do a brewery tour and places to explore and indulge in Southwest Florida.
Exactly.
This would be at the top of the list along with Nice Guys Pizza.
Which, by the way, has also donated a gift card.
In addition to what they're doing with I Dream of Autumn Barbie, can you just, my heart is full when I think about this.
And can I just mention, we're in the middle of October. It's already middle of November.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where this year went.
I was about to say October.
I don't know where the year went.
Middle of November.
Where'd it go? I don't know.
To give you an idea, Nice Guys does certainly traditional pizzas, but we have talked about them in the past. They do very non-traditional things as well.
They're
as
creative.
part of their regular menu, they also do seasonal items.
Oh.
And right now, as we are heading into the Thanksgiving season, they do a pizza that is an homage to Thanksgiving dinner. So the pizza crust is actually it has sage and spices in it, so that the pizza crust is actually takes on the flavor of stuffing.
Oh,
They replace the sauce with mashed potatoes and gravy.
oh yes.
They top it, instead of pepperoni and sauces, they top it with turkey, and then they drizzle on it a cranberry reduction.
It's so great.
It's insanity.
And you know it would
And
really,
it's so good.
it would go well with the Coastal Days seasonal release if they're going to do it again. And I hope Alex will do it again with the cranberry orange ale.
That cranberry orange ale was ridiculous last year. Absolutely. What's
Yeah.
the pizza called?
The wishbone.
The wishbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. So that would be something that if you find yourself down here during the holidays, you got the Nice Guys gift card, you could certainly get that. But they do things throughout the year that are just crazy. They have a pizza called the Big Mick, which if you're a fan of McDonald's or you're a fan of Coming to America, either way, you win because the pizza is phenomenal and tastes like a Big Mac.
It's so good.
They have the one that started our love affair with the place, which is called the Truffle Shuffle, which again, if you're a fan of the Goonies, you understand that's a great reference there. And it's a white pizza that has mushrooms and red onions and truffle oil. And if you ask them, they'll throw some prosciutto on there.
Which is so good.
And crisp that up in the that one's phenomenal.
Yes.
And again, so much more. There's nothing bad at that place.
The
Plus
wings
their
are
craft
fantastic.
cocktail game is through the roof good.
Yes.
Nice Guys, thank you for your donation this year. I can't say enough good things.
We also have a brunchy donation.
I love brunch.
I love brunch. And Sunday's Bloody Mary Mix has donated a $25 gift card, a digital gift card.
And we've had them on the show.
And Colin and Annie, they're great.
And the Sunday's Bloody might be the absolute best that I've ever had.
They're spicy.
Period, bar none. And they're making this stuff with fresh ingredients. They're shipping it out. I love the presentation of it.
Yeah.
It's just, I love a good Bloody Mary. I love a Bloody Mary that is almost a meal. And I'm not talking about the crazy ones that have 10 pounds of crap that's on skewers stuck in it.
It's creative. Go
Certainly,
to it. Whatever.
You certainly can do that, but that was like a big fad that's faded. But
Whatever.
A lot of times you'll get either a place that does just tomato juice, which is really weak once you add in your spirit.
Yeah.
Or they just go nuts with some of the pre-made mixes that are just not awesome.
Yeah.
They strike a balance with great flavor and just having this consistency and mouthfeel, because I don't like a real watery.
It's like a hearty beverage.
It's exactly. I don't like a real watery Bloody Mary. So like the ones that just do tomato juice lose me. And then the prepackaged stuff is These guys do it so well.
Yeah.
You're going to love them. If you like a Bloody Mary like I do, and I always gravitate towards savory versus sweet.
I know.
So you cannot go wrong with
good.
Sunday's Bloodies.
So good. The last item that we have is very near and dear to our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I am an e-coaching client of America's coach, Jeff Galloway, Olympian Jeff Galloway, who founded the Run, Walk, Run method.
And you're paying for it. This is not a paid promotion.
And I am paying for it. But he and Chris Twiggs and everybody at Galloway Productions, they came together and donated 6 months of customized training.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, what is customized training and everything? I saw Chris Twiggs at Wine and Dine weekend at Jeff's booth. And I said, what would be great is if like some people see you and they're like, oh, this guy, he's an ultra runner. And they're intimidated.
He is the nicest guy on the planet, but yes, he's intimidating. He is.
I'm like, I don't want to disappoint this guy.
Exactly. That's just it. Like, this guy knows his stuff.
Oh.
And he's like best buddies with Jeff Galloway.
I know.
And you're like, I don't want to be a dummy in front of him.
Yeah.
But he is the nicest guy.
He's so nice. And he started to talk to me and he's like, I love your show because it's so well-rounded. Like you deal with the running, but you deal with the eating and the drinking, the exploring and indulging too. And that was such a high compliment. And I said, what would be great for our show is if you came on and you talked about customized training.
And he's been on once or twice.
And we've seen your tiki bar also, Mr.
We may have recently recorded an episode.
Coach Twiggs.
Live from the aid station.
Yeah, we have that. Should we play it now?
We can absolutely play that now.
Oh.
Yeah. We might have that recorded.
If you're thinking, I'm intimidated by customized training, hear more about it.
Exactly.
And also enjoy some recommendations from Jacksonville and a Donna themed cocktail. Dana, we welcome back to the show, friend of the show, a family member of our show, Chief Training Officer, Chris Twiggs. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you so much. It's such a thrill to be here again. How are you doing?
I don't think we've had you on for a couple of years.
It's been too long.
Yes. But we talk to you quite frequently.
We do, and I get to hear you guys all the time. So I get the benefit of being mostly the listener here.
And do you want to plug your podcast in the meantime while we're talking to the Runcation Nation about you?
I can, if there are people that care.
We might have one or two out there in the listening audience.
I think we do.
One or two. So I have a podcast called the Hard Talk Podcast. It's by Hard Talk by the Hard Rock 100. And we interview people that are associated with the Hard Rock 100 Endurance Run, which is an ultra marathon in Colorado. And I'm actually, as we're recording this, I think tomorrow our latest episode goes out, and that is with Kirk Apt, who has finished the Hard Rock 100 more times than anyone. He has finished that 26 times.
Wow.
Okay, and the Hard Rock 100, for people who don't know, is just counting to 100, or?
Yeah, again and again. It's a 100-mile run. You have 48 hours to complete the 100 miles. It climbs 33,000 feet in a really big circle in Southwest Colorado. And I am on the board of the Hard Rock, and I'm also privileged and blessed to have gotten into Hard Rock and been able to finish it 17 times.
17?
17, yeah. And so it's something that means a great deal to me. And we started that podcast as a way to capture stories from some of the old timers who were there at the beginning of the race. As Kirk, the person whose episode comes out tomorrow, he has had a role either as a runner or a volunteer in every single one of the Hard Rocks since it started in 1992.
Oh my God.
That's fantastic.
To capture
the stories and to memorialize those things.
That's the idea, because someday those people won't be around anymore, and we don't want those stories to die. We want them to live on, so people will know what was there at the beginning of that event and how it evolved.
When I think about legacy and history, the different events that we've covered on our show, so far, yes, we're not ultra runners, and Cheryl likes to say yet,
right?
One of our Runcation Nation members who would be a fan of your Hard Rock 100 podcast. So we will certainly link to it in the show notes for this episode. The purpose of reaching out to you is the legacy and the meaning behind a weekend where we get to connect with you and some pretty fantastic people, which for a great cause, let's just say, and that would be the DONNA Marathon weekend. And let's just say the whole Fearless series, when we get a chance to do the entire Fearless series of races, the Mother's Day, and then the players, the on the golf course, right? But how did you first get involved with the DONNA Foundation?
Donna Deegan started her foundation many years ago to raise money to help women that were living with breast cancer. And the earliest I remember associating with it or knowing about it was through a campaign she had selling T-shirts to get people to run with her in the way that they were wearing the shirt that she was selling for the Gate River Run, big 15K that happens in Jacksonville.
We've covered that one on the show.
Nice.
It's a great run.
So
great.
I can remember TV commercials. I'm running with Donna, and you'd buy one of these shirts and you were helping to support her foundation. And she came out with a book. She has 2 books out now. But her first book, she was doing a kind of a book tour. And I went to hear her speak at a library. And I was really touched by her message. And I was touched by the number of people that she mentioned that were helping her out in so many different ways, including some doctors that were giving their services to these folks free of charge to help them through rough times when they're struggling with cancer. And I'm not a doctor, but my wife is, and my father is. And so I took this idea to them, but I was a running coach. At that point, I was not working full-time for Jeff Galloway. I was a local program director in Jacksonville. But I went to Jeff and I said, hey, this woman has got this amazing foundation and I'd love to help. Would it be okay with you if I offered a deep discount into our local Galloway program for people that promised to raise money for this foundation? Would that be okay with you? And he said, yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. Jeff was fully on board. So I reached out to Donna, who didn't know me from Adam, but I reached out to Donna and didn't hear back right away. And then I tried again, and I used Jeff Galloway's name. I'm local training director for Jeff Galloway. And I even convinced Jeff to come to Jacksonville for the Gate River Run so that hopefully he could meet Donna. And the real connection here was with Tim Deegan, because Tim, Donna's husband, saw the name Jeff Galloway and then saw my name. And Tim and I knew each other somewhat because we ran about the same pace and we'd see each other at races.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tim saw that and he said, "Oh, Chris Twiggs is doing a thing with Jeff Galloway. Jeff Galloway, you've got to know who that is. He's famous. He's an Olympian. He's the man." And so he convinced Donna to take this meeting, and she went for it. And so we raised about $100,000 that first year for the DONNA Foundation. And then afterwards, Donna called me up and she said, "That was great." We didn't have our own marathon then. We were running the Jacksonville Marathon. And Donna called me up right after that. And she said, "That was great, but I want to go one step further. I want to put on our own event." And so we got Jeff Galloway involved again, and we planned, and we took 2 years of planning to make sure we did it right. And we created the Donna weekend. It was called 26.2 with Donna is what we called it at first, the National Marathon to Finish Breast Cancer. And that's just become the Donna because everybody just started referring to it in shorthand as the Donna. And so that's what we all call it. And so I'm proud to say that I've been, along with Amanda Napolitano, I've been involved with it since before the Donna even existed. Amanda was my co-director in that local Galloway program. And so she and I worked together to train folks that first year, and it blew up. And Amanda likes to say that it's like we're the dogs that caught the car, the dog chasing the car. And then what's the dog going to do if the dog ever catches the car? We caught the car. She and I both had this dream of being able to do this sort of thing full time. And now, of course, Amanda is the executive director of the DONNA Foundation. And I get to work for Jeff Galloway and help people achieve their dreams of running all the time. So that's how it started, and that's how we're still involved.
That's fantastic. And we've had Amanda on the show a couple of times as well. She's told us that story about how I think she told it a little differently. I think it was somehow or another like suckering you in, but
something about that.
Oh, no, it didn't take, neither of us had to convince the other. After I'd heard Donna talk, I talked with Amanda about it, and we took this idea to Jeff, and we were both, and Jeff as well, in 100% from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy doesn't do anything halfway, does he?
No. And anything attached to his name is successful. And I'm so glad in this case, because what the foundation does for research in connection with the Mayo Clinic and Dr. Edith Perez that we've had on the show, and what the foundation does for families. It's not just a single-pronged approach. It's they support the families that
taking
are
care
fighting.
of the whole person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And striving toward the mission of finishing breast cancer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you mentioned it, and I want to talk a little bit about this. Every time or every year since we've become ambassadors for the DONNA, we do our part. I don't know that we're going to hit $100,000. I sure would like to, but we do our part to do what we can to raise money for the DONNA Foundation. And this year, Jeff donated 6 months of Galloway customized training. And we were hoping you might be able to tell the Runcation Nation a little bit about what customized training is and how it works.
Jeff and Chris
Absolutely.
kindly donated. So thank you. Yes. Tell us all about it.
Absolutely. Customized training is a way to help people achieve their fitness goals. What we do is people fill out a questionnaire when they're signed up, and that helps us understand where they are currently in their fitness. It helps us know what their goals are, what events they might have planned, if they have time goals for those events. And it also lets us know what their time restrictions are, travel, family obligations, work obligations. And that allows us to build a schedule specifically for that person that will fit into their lives. It doesn't do us any good for us to have the perfect plan on paper if it's not going to work with your schedule, if you can't follow it. And then beyond that, once the schedule starts and that person starts training on that schedule, as things change, maybe they run a magic mile and they know they're getting faster. Maybe another race comes up that a friend has convinced them to do that they want to add to the schedule. Maybe something happens and they miss a run. Maybe 2 hurricanes hit their area in 10 days and they have to pivot, right? So
Wouldn't know what that's.
Nope.
never happen. When those things occur, what Customize is there for is to answer questions, rearrange the schedule, fix things so that we can still have the best chance at arriving at our starting lines healthy, uninjured, and ready to take on whatever challenge is in front of us. Obviously, I hope that when someone purchases this, that it'll be something that will guide them toward the DONNA, or that the DONNA will in some way be a part of it. But we don't want to put restrictions on that. If there's someone that has their goal and they want to buy this as part of the, get this on your site as to help them train for the London Marathon or Tokyo or what, I don't care. And that's another thing I'll say is, yes, what we're donating here is 6 months. But if someone has a goal that is 2 years away and they know they want to do Dopey 2027 or something like that, make sure you let us know what that is. And I will build that schedule out as far as necessary. It's just the support will continue for 6 months. And then if they want to continue beyond that, then we'll give them a discounted rate to continue that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I mean, it could be somebody's first ever 5K or any distance or any goal that
a Hard Rock 100.
I was actually going to ask, would this apply for things like ultras?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I've got folks in Customized that are Dean Gerber.
Might know that guy, Dean. Yeah.
He's got 200 or 300 milers a year that we get on his schedule. And so absolutely, we've got people training for everything from walking. I've got some folks that aren't runners. They're walkers, but they're training for walking goals that they have. And so everything from that to, as you said, maybe their first 5K, all the way out to things like Dopey or 100 milers even. It's all the same. And what I love is we have a great community around Customized. We get together on Zooms where people have a chance to check in, share their medals, talk about how things went, ask questions. And it's an opportunity to check in with me so that I can adjust their schedules, but it's also an opportunity for them to share with our community what's going on in their lives. And sometimes people log into those Zooms not even with a question or wanting to say anything. They just want to hear how their friends are doing.
You draw inspiration from the community in addition to getting that customized program that can be adjusted at any time by the expert here.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how great you are at helping build community around that. And I think that's so valuable. And I would say that's one of the big reasons that our listeners ought to bid on the auction, which aside from you can do so much good for the DONNA Foundation, you can do so much good for yourself, your running goals and all that, you are also going to get a chance to be part of a really special community. And you've been instrumental in building that.
And
it's not something I did on my own. It's something that happened organically with these amazing people that I'm privileged to coach.
And they're friends far beyond just the initial goal. And I think last year when we had this auction item, we had somebody that we met at the DONNA Marathon weekend, Babs, bid on it, use that time period, and then sign up again.
That's right.
I just think that it's something that could why should listeners bid on the item? That was a question we were going to ask you, but I think we're already talking about the customization aspect, the community aspect, and then just being inspired by those Zoom calls when everybody gets together.
Yeah, absolutely. It inspires me for sure.
Yeah. So you have donated generously. You and Jeff have donated 6 months. That is, I would say, priceless.
Oh, yeah.
I would say priceless. But so that's why I think that people should bid on it. And we really can't let you get away without. We've talked about running, and we've talked about an asset to somebody's running goals in the customized training program. But we also have, we're the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. Right.
And I don't know that we've ever hit you up for questions around food and beverage.
I don't know.
I'll have to go back and listen.
I mean, we did have him on once. And we talked about like Jacksonville locations around the DONNA, I think. But I asked you if you could come on and make a cocktail, because I hear that in the past around the DONNA, you have made a cocktail, but we always talk about food first. So you're going to make a cocktail, and should there be an ideal meal that goes along with this cocktail?
We're not asking you to cook. We're just saying.
No.
I get that. I think that when I got into wine somewhat when I was in grad school. My father has a very good wine collection. And one of the things that I learned from him is every food goes with every wine if they're both things that you enjoy. It's not that it has to be a perfect thing that has to be paired a certain way. If you're enjoying that glass of wine or you're enjoying that cocktail and you enjoy that particular food, then that is perfect for you.
Yeah.
We have, I know the Donna is down, in Jacksonville Beach, and there's some amazing places to eat there. I live in Fernandina Beach, and it's a nice little community. And we have a restaurant. It's the closest restaurant to our house. We could, if there weren't a couple of trees in the way, we could see the restaurant. And the owner is a dear friend, and she likes to call her restaurant our second kitchen. And so it is the location is called Wicked Bao, B-A-O, Wicked Bao. And if you ever make it up here, you have to go to Wicked Bao.
Okay.
It's Taiwanese street food. It is amazing. The bao, the
You're
buns
talking my language.
are incredible. They do, you like tater tots, right? Who doesn't like tater tots?
Who doesn't like tater tots?
They
I'm a child
do-
of the 80s. Of course I like tater tots.
They do, because it's Taiwanese, they do rice tots. And I got to tell you, these things are incredible. These rice tots.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Better than tater tots?
You need
It's
to come
close.
up here and
It's
try 'em.
close.
You need to come up here and try 'em.
Okay.
So that's my go-to second kitchen. That's the place that I love to get a bao, maybe with some shrimp on it, or maybe just tofu. They also do, for those that'll eat pork, they do a good pork bao. They do a beef bao. So lots of different options. They run different specials. Those and some of those rice tots. That is a perfect meal for me anytime.
Nice.
Whoa.
We'll make sure to link to them and their social media in the
course.
show notes there.
Of course. And then what should we enjoy as we go from your home right to that meal? Not that as a precursor to the meal, as a
Sure,
cocktail.
because it's right.
Why
It's
not?
walking.
Right.
It's
Right?
less than a tenth of a mile. It's so
Okay.
close to my house.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make this up for you here. I realize that people that are listening to this are not going to see what's happening, but I don't care, because it gives me an opportunity to make this up myself.
And just so we're clear, for those that are listening,
Yes.
Chris is coming to us from his home set, which is decked out like quite the tiki bar.
Yeah.
I love the tiki bar.
We call it the aid station. is
The
what we
aid
call it.
station?
The aid station. In an ultra marathon, in races, marathons, half marathons, even 5Ks, you have water stops, right?
Of course.
But in an ultra marathon, you have aid stations. So it's more than just water stop. It's food. It might be a place to take a nap if it's a really long race. And there are people there that take care of all of your needs. And so it's an aid station. So this is my aid station.
I love it.
How long have you had your aid station there? Like, when did it become a thing for you?
My daughter came up with the idea of us building a tiki bar when she was in high school. We visited Disney and we went to a food and wine festival and we saw a little tiki set up, and she said, we should build one of those. And then she has two older brothers, and when they had both graduated from high school and gone off to college, she was the only one at home with us. And we realized she's going to be gone in a couple of years and we'll be empty nesters. And so over those last 2 years while she was home, we built this. And then once we had it, I was like, what do you do with a tiki bar? I guess you make tiki drinks.
Yeah.
So I started learning about tiki drinks and started collecting rum, because that's the normal base for tiki drinks, and collecting mugs, because those are a cool thing.
And they
It's
are
just
cool.
become a great thing. And I got to tell you,
Cool.
I'm glad that we started that right before COVID, because then when COVID hit, nobody was going out to bars and those sorts of things. We had everything we needed right here.
That's fantastic.
Yay. So what are you making for us?
All right, so I'm going to make a Donna daiquiri.
Oh,
So I'm starting with, I've got a half ounce of freshly squeezed pineapple juice.
very nice.
And then I've got a half an ounce of lime juice. And normally I would just use regular limes, but we've got a key lime tree, and the key
Ooh.
limes are just perfect right now.
Very
So-
Florida.
And key limes, for everyone who's out there, if you get a green key lime pie, it's not real key lime pie. Key limes are not green.
No.
No, they start green. They're like any other fruit. They're going to be green on the tree at first, but when they're ripe, they're yellow.
Yep.
Mm. Yeah.
Yep. And then we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup,
Okay.
which is just 1-to-1 sugar and water.
Okay.
And then we're going to do 2 ounces of a light rum. And I'm using.
What's your go-to?
Yeah.
We have a really cool rum distillery here on the island.
Oh.
Also, not only is it it's Marlin and Barrel Rum Distillery, and next door, owned by the same gentleman, they have a cidery. So if you like drinking ciders, that's the place to go for your ciders.
Very nice.
Yes.
It's fantastic. I was in there actually just on Sunday watching football in there. It was a great place to do that. All right, now here's what makes it Donna-ish. Is I'm putting in 4 raspberries.
Ooh, okay.
Those are fresh raspberries.
Fresh raspberries, and I'm going to muddle these fresh raspberries in here because we have to have it just right to be a Donna daiquiri. And now I happen to just right off here off camera, I have a Pebble ice machine.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
My Pebble ice. Put it in the
That's
shaker.
the good ice.
That's good ice. For a tiki drink, that's what you want.
You like the single ice cube for something like an old fashioned.
Something like an old fashioned where you want to control the melt and you don't want to over dilute. Yes, but tiki drinks.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. Those, especially if you can get a clear cube. Those are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's too much work at home.
A lot of work. So I've got a chilled glass here. I've got my strainer. And I'll turn my camera here a little bit so you can see this.
Look at that chilled glass. So pretty.
And look at the color on that. Perfect.
Muddled strawberry. Or muddled raspberries create that.
That's exactly right. And then for garnish, I have a little pineapple chunk and a raspberry. And
look at that.
Oh,
well, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Yay. We're going to have to make that.
We're going to have to make that. Yes.
I'll make sure you've got the recipe. I'll send it over to you.
It sounds like it's balanced, like it's not too much of the simple and not too much tartness, but a little bit of sweetness.
Well, and I was going to say it's almost a nod to the Hemingway daiquiri in the way you went with it.
Yeah, because you'd have grapefruit juice in the Hemingway, but using the pineapple
instead
as a stuff for that. Yeah.
And you know what? That is a throwback to the very first episode where we traveled to Orlando to have Jeff Galloway on the show and went to Santiago's Bodega and had a Hemingway daiquiri.
Yes.
And
way to bring it full circle there.
I cannot tell you. Let me just tell you, I went to the Track Shack to hear him talk about all the drills and everything I'm sure that you hammer home in customized training. And I was so intimidated. And I think that when we recorded, my neck was red, my ears were red. I was shaking with the notes on my iPad. And he says, you and he have this quality where you just put your hand on someone's shoulder. They're nervous about a race. They're nervous about an interview. They're nervous about something. It's going to be okay. You got it. We're just talking.
And if that doesn't work, he'll hand you one of these daiquiris.
Exactly.
And that doesn't calm you down, right?
Take the edge off. Take the edge off. So,
well, Coach Twigs has brought us not only just an amazing donation to our auction,
incredible,
but also a fantastic recipe there that he's going to Instagram even, which is
cannot
great.
Wait. I can't. Oh, yes.
And we were able to sneak a couple of recommendations out of him in terms of food and drink: Wicked Bow and Marlin and Barrel rum and ciders.
We have to find a race up there and come do it.
Right?
Don't we? Yeah. We have to.
We have some great ones up this direction.
So I cannot thank you and Jeff Galloway enough, Coach Twigs, for donating 6 months of the customized training and talking about all of the benefits. I just hope that people know this is one of the most valuable things in our auction to come and bid on. And our auction is live now on our Facebook page at facebook.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. And I encourage people to bid on this because I think it's a life-changing item in our list, not only for the recipient, but also paying it forward to the DONNA Foundation.
And thank you so very much for supporting the DONNA Foundation with this auction. It's such a worthy cause. There are a lot of worthy causes out there, but obviously this is one that's very close to our hearts. And Jeff and I want to support in every way we can. And we really appreciate you partnering with us in that support.
Oh, we can't thank you enough. Anybody who wants to join our team, donate to our fundraiser, I encourage you to bid. But if you also want to run the Donna with us in February of 2025, you can go to runsignup.com/RuncationNation2025 and join our team or donate to our team. But Coach Twiggs, we can't wait to see you at that weekend, if not sooner, because we want to accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon.
He's such a nice guy.
That drink looks beautiful.
Oh, I love that he came prepared. He understood the assignment. Hey, man, I need a tiki drink. I need it to be pink, and I need you to sell it. And he knocked it out of the park.
And he gave us some, I may or may not have been on the websites of the distillery and the Wicked Bow.
We have not been there yet.
We have not been there, but I'm just going to tell you now that we should go there.
And every time we go, every year we do Donna, we find new stuff.
Of course.
And it's because of our friends who are locals up there. But whether it's Mike and Andy Sharp, whether it's Chris, we get amazing recommendations. Amanda, Donna herself,
yes,
Mayor.
Amy Mergen.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Mayor Donna.
Mayor Donna Deegan, and also Amy Mergen, who is a board member of the DONNA Foundation.
So we get amazing recommendations, and we've said that's always the secret sauce. If we can find a local who can tell us, hey, where do we need to go?
They know.
And Jacksonville is such a big area. It's the largest municipal area in the state of Florida. Cape Coral is number 2 in terms of total land area where we're at, but they are number 1 by quite a margin.
Well, and there's lots to explore and indulge.
There are. And when you're up there, you've got Jacksonville proper, the city, but the Donna encompasses not only Jacksonville, but the beach towns around it. And there are several. So we talk about it a lot. You'll hear us mention Neptune Beach and Atlantic Beach.
Yes.
But that's all in that same area. Everything's within about 15, 20 minutes.
It's fantastic. And just a place you should go.
So we're going to have the recipe for that drink.
Yeah.
Which I'm very interested to make.
I want to right now.
And links to everything that we've talked about here on the show.
Of course.
But we cannot thank you guys enough for joining us this week on the Run Eat Drink podcast. Please bid on the auction items to support the DONNA Foundation. We have a link tree set up on Instagram.
Yes.
So that you can get right to it.
Yeah.
We're going to be basically throwing that out there throughout social media every week, at least once or twice for the next several weeks. We want you guys bidding. This is for a great cause. Yeah. These are amazing gifts. We have many of these items already.
We do.
We cannot recommend them enough.
Thanks for joining us in 2024, at the end of 2024.
End of 24.
My goodness.
We're about to 25.
We're about to 25, but thank you for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, or wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you for a great cause really soon. That's a wrap, so thank you for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.